Hello friends, welcome back in a ROSE project. This project is conducted by Rayat Shikshan Sanstha's Sadhguru Garge Maharaj College, Karad. Myself, Jagtap SR. Currently, we are discussing a chapter Mechanical Properties of Fluids. In last 3-4 lectures, we had discussed mechanical properties of fluids when the fluids at rest, that is the property surface tension and pressure. Now from this lecture we will discuss about the properties of the fluid when fluids in motion. The branch of the physics which deals with study of properties of fluids when fluids in motion is called hydrodynamics. There are some terms related with the motion of the fluids. The first one is steady flow. A measurable property such as the pressure or velocity of the fluid at a given point is constant over time. Therefore, this flow is called as a steady flow. The second term is flow line. It is the path of the individual particle in a moving fluid. That is path followed by the particle when the fluid in a motion. The third term is streamline. It is a curve whose tangent at any point in a flow is in the direction of the velocity of the flow. Streamlines and flow lines are identical for steady flow. These are the streamlines, and these streamlines are identical for the steady flow. Streamlines and flow lines are the identical. Next term is flow tube. It is an imaginary bundle of flow lines bounded by an imaginary wall. Flow tube means there is no any actual tube. It is considered as an imaginary bundle. For steady flow, fluid cannot cross the wall of the flow tube. That is, when the flow is steady, there is a velocity is same. Therefore, the flow is in a uniform velocity. Therefore, for the steady flow, the fluid cannot cross the wall of the flow tube. Fluids in an adjacent flow tubes cannot mix. Now the next term is laminar flow or streamline flow. It is a steady flow in which adjacent layers of the fluid move smoothly over each other. A steady flow of river can be assumed to be a laminar flow or streamline flow. A smooth flow of the fluid with velocity smaller than certain critical velocity is called a laminar flow. In a streamline flow, velocity of fluid at a given point is always constant. Two streamlines can never intersect, that is, they are always parallel. The next type of the flow is turbulent flow. It is a flow at very high flow rate so that there is no steady flow and flow pattern changes continuously. A flooded river flow or tap running very fast is the examples of the turbulent flow. These are the diagram of the turbulent flow. There is no any flow having the certain or the specific direction. There is a change in the direction of the flow. The irregular and unsteady flow of the fluid when its velocity increases beyond the critical velocity is called a turbulent flow. In turbulent flow, the velocity of the fluid at any point does not constant. That is, in a turbulent flow, the velocity of the flow changes point to point. In a turbulent flow, at some points, fluids may have rotational motion which gives rise to the eddies. Now, the next property of the fluid is viscosity. When we pour water from a glass, it flows freely and quickly. But when we pour a syrup or honey, its flow is slowly and stick to the container. This difference is due to the fluid friction. This friction is both within the fluid itself and between the fluid and its surrounding. This property of the fluid is called a viscosity. Viscosity means a friction in a liquid. Water has low viscosity where syrup or honey has a high viscosity. At the center of the flow, the velocity of the flow is fastest as comparing with its end. Diagram shows at the center velocity is fast as compared to the end of the flow. And in this case, all the flow having the same velocities. Here is friction is present and here is friction is absent. It is clear that there is some opposing force between the two adjacent layers of the fluid which affect their relative motion. Therefore, viscosity is defined as viscosity is a property of the fluid by virtue of which the relative motion between the different layers of the fluid experience a dragging force. It means opposing force. This force is called a viscous drag. In a liquid, the viscous drag is due to the short range molecular cohesive forces, and in case of the gases, it is due to the collision between the fast moving molecules or particles. Now the next point is velocity gradient. I would like to clear one point. Gradient. Gradient means given quantity divided by displacement. If here is the word velocity gradient, then velocity gradient means velocity divided by displacement, that is length. Another example is potential gradient, it is potential divided by length. Now, in case of the viscosity, we are discussing velocity gradient. The rate of change of velocity with distance, that is dx, measured from the stationary layer is called a velocity gradient. Consider this is the stationary layer and velocity of the flow is increases from the stationary layer to in upward direction. Consider this is the layer of velocity v at a distance x from the stationary layer or steady layer. In this case, if we goes upward through a distance dx, then increase in velocity by the dv. If we go downward, that is toward a stationary layer, there is a decrease in velocity by dv and also decrease in a distance dx. Therefore, the velocity gradient is dv, that is a change in velocity with respect to distance, that is dx. Now the next point is coefficient of viscosity. According to the Newton's law of viscosity, for a streamline flow, viscous force acting on any layer is directly proportional to the area of the layer and velocity gradient. Therefore, we can write here viscous force F is directly proportional to the area and velocity gradient, that is dv divided by dx. Taking the constant of proportionality, we can write here force, that is viscous force, is equal to eta into area into dv divided by dx, where eta is a constant of proportionality. It is also called as a coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. Remember one thing, the Newton's law of viscosity for streamline flow, that is whenever we want to find the viscous force, the flow must be streamline flow. From this relation, we can write here coefficient of viscosity eta is equal to force divided by area into velocity gradient. Therefore, the coefficient of viscosity can be defined as the viscous force per unit area per unit velocity or gradient. Its SI unit is, as we know that the force is measured in Newton, area is measured in meter square, and velocity gradient, that is velocity meter per second and displacement meter. And simplifying all this quantity, we can write here Newton second per meter square. Now the next point is critical velocity and Reynolds number. The flow is streamline or turbulent can be determined by Reynolds number and critical velocity. The flow of the fluid, whether streamline or the turbulent, is differentiate on the basis of the velocity of flow. The velocity beyond which the streamline flow becomes turbulent flow is called a critical velocity. That is, when any flow beyond the velocity of the critical velocity, then it is considered as a turbulent flow, and if this velocity of the flow is less than critical velocity, then it is considered as a streamline flow. According to the Reynolds, the critical velocity is given by Vc is equal to Rn, that is Reynolds number, into the eta means coefficient of viscosity divided by density of the fluid into diameter. From this equation, we can write here Reynolds number as Rn is equal to Vc, that is critical velocity, rho be the density of the fluid, d diameter of the tube, divided by eta, coefficient of viscosity. The Reynolds number is a pure number, therefore it does not have any unit and dimension. As we told that according to the Reynolds number, we conclude that the fluid is streamline or turbulent. Therefore, case first, the Reynolds number is less than 1000. The flow of a fluid is considered as a streamline. Second case, Reynolds number Rn is greater than 2000. the flow of the fluid is considered as a turbulent flow. The third case is when the Reynolds number is between the 1000 to 2000, the flow of the fluid becomes unsteady, that is, it can changes from streamline to a turbulent. Now the next point is Stokes law. The statement of the Stokes law is the viscous force Fv acting on a small sphere falling through a viscous medium is directly proportional to radius of the sphere, its velocity through the fluid, and third point is coefficient of viscosity of the fluid. Therefore, we can write here viscous force. First point is directly proportional to the radius. So, directly proportional to the radius. Its velocity to the fluid, that is V, and coefficient of viscosity of the fluid, that is eta. So, we can write here Fv is directly proportional to the eta, R and V. The empirically, that is by the calculation or experimentally, the empirically obtained constant of the proportionality is 6 pi. Therefore, above equation becomes Fv is equal to 6 pi eta R V. This is the expression for the viscous force acting on a spherical object moving through a viscous medium. Now the next point is terminal velocity. Consider a spherical object falling through a viscous fluid. The force experienced by it during its downward motion R. The first point is viscous force directed upward because the object is falling. The object is falling through a viscous fluid and the fluid apply viscous force on that object. That is, viscous force is opposite to the direction of the motion. Therefore, here direction of the object is downward and viscous force is opposite to the direction of the motion. So we can conclude that viscous force directed upwards. Next point is gravitational force or the weight is directed in downward direction. We know that the weight is always in downward direction. Buoyant force or the upthrust directed upward. Any fluid can apply upward thrust for the object when this object is in a fluid. This is the upthrust force and viscous force in upward direction and weight in downward direction. Let R be the radius of sphere, m be the mass of the sphere, rho be the density of the material of the sphere, and sigma be the density of the medium, and eta be the coefficient of viscosity of a fluid in which object is falling. When total downward force is equal to total upward force, the sphere attains constant downward velocity, and this velocity is called as a terminal velocity. As total downward force is equal to total upward force, we know that the downward force is weight of the sphere and there are two upward forces. The first one is viscous force and another is buoyant force due to the medium. As we know that weight of the sphere is mg and viscous force according to the Stokes law we can write here 6 pi eta r into v. And talking about the buoyant force. Buoyant force means, as we know that according to Archimedes principle, when object is kept in a fluid, then object displace a fluid and volume of displaced fluid is equal to volume of object. Therefore, the buoyant force means weight of the displaced fluid by object. So we can write here buoyant force due to the medium, that is mg medium. We know that density is equal to mass divided by volume. So converting this formula into the mass, we can write here volume into density. As we know that the volume of the sphere is V is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube. Put equation 3 in equation 2, we can write here mass is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube into density. Similarly, for the medium, we can write here 4 by 3 pi r cube and density of the medium is sigma. Therefore, mass of the medium is 4 by 3 pi r cube into sigma. Now, from equation 4 and equation 5, equation first becomes 4 by 3 pi r cube rho into sigma is equal to 6 pi eta r into V plus 4 by 3 pi r cube sigma into G. Sir, we can write here 6 pi eta r V is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube rho G minus 4 by 3 pi r cube sigma G. And taking the common, we can write here 6 pi eta r V is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube G in bracket rho minus sigma. Therefore, terminal velocity V is equal to 2 by 9 r square G in bracket rho minus sigma divided by eta. Remember one thing, rho is greater than sigma. This is the expression for terminal velocity of the fluid. Thank you very much.